That opening bumper music means only one thing. It's Paul Ryan coming at you with another broadcast. We're going to talk a little bit about music. Then we're going to do a song and more on the Freddie Spaghetti episodes. There's a great book out by Sheila Davis. It's been out for quite a while. It's called Successful Lyric Writing. It's written for songwriters, but it also gives you a great picture of the forms of music that we hear and how you can identify each one. If you're a fan of music, see if you can identify the form of the next song you listen to on your playlist. Here are Davis's musical song forms as she identifies them. She identifies 12-bar blues songs, AAA songwriting, AABA, ABAB, verse chorus, and we'll go through each one of these. The 12-bar blues, it's a uniquely American song form. More than anything, the blues is a vocal art. It's a means of self-expression in which the singer is commenting or complaining about some personal problem. However, it's not in a self-pitying way or depressed way. In fact, some of these songs can be exuberant and joyous. Form-wise, blues has lines within the same meter that have been stretched to 3 lines just by repeating the first. What a listener hears is a premise and then a consequence in a call-response pattern. In blues songs, the rhymes are sometimes more approximate than perfect. The chords often are 1, 4, and 5. For example, in the key of C, that would be a C, F, and G, or G7. In practice, that might be something like a 1, 4, 1, 5, 1 progression. And within that, there can be a great deal of chordal variation. Taking our key of C, for example, that would go like, let's see, C, F, C, G, C. Yeah, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. C, F, G, C, F, C, G, C. 1, 4, 1, 5, 1. Another simple form is the AAA form. This one includes classics. Maggie May from Rod Stewart. Gentle on My Mind, Glen Campbell. The AAA is a song form. It's composed of a series of verses, usually 16 bars in length without a bridge or a chorus. The number of verses can vary from 3, the average, to 5 or more, depending on how much the singer has to say. The third song form to talk about is AABA. It's basically a person's feeling. It's a moment in time and their feeling within that moment. It's often comprised of 32 bars, with the opening section containing the main core idea of the song. Not always the case, but often. Somewhere Over the Rainbow is in that family. Another song form is the ABAB, and it's relative to the ABAC. When Rodgers and Hammerstein were composing their AABA standards, they were also churning out an equal number in the ABAB form, like AABA and ABAB, and it's very in ABAC, and this is not an alphabet lesson. The ABAB often contains 32 bars, but rather than using a bridge, these songs might consist of 2 16-bar sections joined in the middle. Hall & Oates' Rich Girl falls into that form. ABAB is older than time. It really is, and it still puts songs on the charts. Final one to talk about is the verse chorus. When I was a member of the Nashville Songwriters Association, I spent a lot of time attending sessions and trying to understand and blend their song forms with what I wanted to do. This form, the verse chorus, it's a great form for story songs, and I do a lot of story songs. I'm not sure I'm typical there, but in my case, I look at the chorus as the reason for the song. It's the soul. It never changes, and it repeats over and over and over. It's kind of like the main package. The verses, they move things along. They're more like the courier they carry the story or the point. So the chorus, when you hear the chorus, it makes sense. The verses move from A to B to C. The chorus never changes. It's static. At least that's how I do it. There's an old phrase appropriate to this form of song. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. Whoever wrote that went right from verse 1 to the chorus. Sometimes you get a couple verses and then the chorus, but you also get a chorus repeating itself. Again, that's the soul of that song. Okay, that's it for the types of songs that you would hear. Stay tuned now. We're going to do a song and then more on Freddie Spaghetti and his travels.
That was an interesting look at the world of music, right? Okay, now it's time for one of Paul's songs. Paul, over to you.
Today's featured song is called Solitary Star. It's a short autobiography of sorts, not precisely, but generally. It's about a person who sees himself or herself when gazing up at the stars, finding simpatico, finding that star that always seems to follow its own path.
When just a young boy I gaze up at the sky, I'd watch every night when one star caught my eye. Was stuck way in deep in a crowd, so it seemed, caught in the path of a white starry stream. I watched as that star calmly drifted so slow to a place way up high where no others would go, in its own space and away from the rest. I watched its glow bright and seemed carefree at last. Now sometimes I think of that star breaking free, was just like my own life has turned out to be. Always at home, away from the crowd, away from the towers and bright lights downtown. Some time ago, I took a deep breath, turned down a good job to start on a new path, away from the hearth and towards the unknown, racing ahead with just spirit and hope. I've done it alone and I've done it my way, followed that star where it moved every day, away from the rush, right from the start, a solitary life that has followed the heart. It's true that I've made some mistakes, to be sure, but I'm not one designed to be safe and secure. Now when I watch for that star that broke free, it shines like a mirror right back at me.
So after last week on the musical life of Freddie Spaghetti, we know he's been very busy with his music. What's he up to today?
Last week when we left Freddie, he was on his mountain bike pedaling as fast as he could towards the bike shop, the Crooked Fret, to go and buy a capo. He's in luck. He rests the bike against the music store wall and presses down on the big brass door handle. It gives way. The store's still open. He rushes up to the counter where a sales clerk, a young lady, is standing. She's there watching Freddie intently, unsure if he's friend or foe, but she relaxes when he rushes up to the counter. He's obviously in a panic. His voice is shallow and nervous. He's trying to catch his breath. She's seen this before. It's a musician looking for strings or something at the very last minute just before closing. "Can I help you?" she asks. Freddie stands in front of the counter, gazing at the clerk, totally silent. He's discombobulated, partly due to the desperate rush to get there, but also an in-the-moment stunned realization that the person standing in front of him is the most gorgeous girl he's ever laid eyes on. The first thing he noticed about her is her smile. It lit up the store when she greeted him. She's average in height, brown-eyed, black-haired, but she's a beauty. Freddie's thinking, oh, she must be a model. Oh, maybe a musician, a professional musician. Hey, it's a music store, right? The clerk repeats the question, this time with a bit more force. Can I help you, sir? Freddie stares ahead at the wall, his eyes nervously darting around. He still hasn't spoken. Sir? Oh, yes, guitars, or no, capos for guitars, Freddie stammers. The girl wheels around, grabs a couple of boxes, and puts them on the counter. Well, I have a metal one here, and here's that double stretchy soft one there. You can have either one. Freddie is tentative. He curses himself, thinking, come on, it's just a capo, dummy. What's wrong? He's now staring down at the capos, silent once again. Pointing to the standard metal capo, the girl offers, if you're stuck, this is the one that seems to be most popular. Okay, yeah, I'll take the capo, or the popular, or the metal one. Do you play guitar, the girl asks, as she enters the sale into the pay reader. Yeah, Freddie mumbles, pulling out his credit card emblazoned with Fred Barton Jr. in big block letters. You? No, I'm just filling in for my uncle while he's taking a few days off. Oh, Sam's your uncle? Freddie's finally regaining some composure. At last, something he can talk about without sounding like a complete buffoon. Sam Winter owns the Crooked Fret. It's the most popular music store in the county, and Sam knows just about everything there was to know about electric and acoustic guitars and other stringed instruments as well. In fact, it was Sam who suggested to Freddie that saving his money and buying a high-end Martin guitar was the way to go. Every month over the past year, Freddie added his overtime pay money to his Crooked Fret account. And when he made the final payment, Sam had already placed the order. Sam Winter had designed his store to have a historic, almost reverent tribute to American music history. He has made sure that the walls include items that contribute to this ambiance. On one wall are some old 78 RPM records. On another, photos of Elvis, Buddy Holly, Bill Monroe, Patti Page. The centerpiece is hanging on the wall directly behind the counter. It's an S.S. Stewart banjo built in 1886 and the very first banjo ever played in a full orchestra in the United States, or, so the story goes, as embellished by Sam. He'd bought it in an auction for $20 and rehabilitated it to the point of playability. Up there on the wall, it serves the highest of purposes. It's a playable banjo, a talking piece, an heirloom, and a piece of American history, all rolled into one.
On behalf of Paul and Ryan Tunes, thank you for listening to this week's Sound Threads. Please check us out next week for another round of Sound Threads.